So last week you were wearing that same outfit. What's up with that?
Was I wearing this same outfit? Oh yeah. I changed. I changed my suspenders.
Are you playing Santa Claus somewhere? I mean, besides in a movie or something.
I'm always playing Santa Claus.
Oh, well, you have like a lot of grandkids, so.
Ho ho. No, you. Come on over here, like Grandpa. So, what are we talking about today?
We saw Conan the Barbarian. No, I'm just kidding. I was going to do that like straight face and say, you know, we saw Conan the Barbarian. I was so glad you suggested this because I really like Arnold Schwarzenegger
really,
in this.
Yeah, and it seems like he's lost a lot of weight.
Right. He had a sex change. What happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, he played the guy that she discovered. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So we saw Barbarian, which came out this year, and it's by the same. Well, this is what cracks me up. I saw a trailer for this, and it's like from the producers of It, The Ring, and The Grudge. And by the way, The Ring and The Grudge were both Korean movies originally, and then It was a remake of a TV series that was done from a book anyway. So
from a book, right?
I mean, I wasn't that impressed with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you seen the Korean Ring and the Korean Grudge?
I've not seen The Grudge. Period.
We should totally do the.
I have not, but I have seen the Korean version of The Ring, and I have to say that we did it better. I mean, it was pretty good, but it was not as good. It was not as good as our version of it.
I'm not sure.
No, absolutely. Trust me, I'm a filmmaker. I know.
I feel like we need to go look at. Maybe we should do a double whammy sometime. Not.
You were talking about a film that I just 2 days ago showed to my grandkids.
I know, but I remember seeing the original Ring, and I was like, "Wow, this is so different than the new one. I think I like the old one better." And I said the same thing about The Grudge. So I think the Koreans actually did it better, but that's
by the way, I want to ask, how is The Grudge? Is that a good film?
Well, see, I didn't like the newer version, the American version, that much. And I saw the Korean one, and I was like, this is a lot better. I mean, just darker, and, you know, I usually like things a little darker and more...
Could you show it to children?
I don't know. My kids would be terrified with that one, probably. Show them Vincent Price
my grandkids, my 2 youngest grandchildren just watched The Ring.
Oh, really?
And,
I think I probably watched The Grudge, then.
Yeah, which is great because my one of my daughters, the youngest, is kind of hip and edgy, and she loved it. She loved it.
I'll tell you what a movie they should watch is the Swedish Let the Right One In. This would be like,
oh yeah,
the kid that's a vampire. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Not that. See, that's another one. The Americans screwed that one up too. Anyway.
No, I think the Ring. I think that we did The Ring better, and they were pretty close to being shot to shot.
I feel like I need to watch them again because I can't clearly remember any differences right now. So I'm speaking out of my ass a little bit.
The thing that the American one did better was the walking towards the scene with particularly the scene of the walking towards the TV and continuing on into the room was just terrifying. And I remember it not being as terrifying on the Korean version of it. Not done quite as well. Not as convincingly weird.
Well, I'm gonna go watch both of them. But I did like the new Ring a lot. So I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying I think I just can't remember very clearly the old one because It's been a long time.
So we are talking about Barbarian, right?
Oh yeah. Speaking of Barbarian, I'm glad you brought that up.
Just thought I'd bring it up. You know.
Well, see, your suspenders and that red shirt is really distracting me, so I can't really focus very well.
You're thinking of Christmas presents.
I have ADD, so it's like
you're thinking of
squirrel. Squirrel.
You're thinking that I should have popcorn and tinsel around, and you know what's great is I have this one light here that puts a twinkle underneath my cheeks. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed that.
See the twinkle on the cheeks? Yeah.
Rosy cheeks.
Oh, come back here, you little.
So I remember in the news recently there was somebody who stayed at Airbnb, and something weird happened where they called Airbnb because something wasn't right at the place, and the Airbnb people told them, get out as fast as you can, we'll pay you later, we'll give you a refund, because something was weird at the house. I just remember that being in the news recently. I can't remember any details. But that kind of relates to this one, because this lady stays at an Airbnb because she's going to be interviewed for a job that was too cheap to put her up in hotels. Documentary filmmakers didn't put her up in a hotel, so she had to buy her own Airbnb in some neighborhood. Yeah. And she shows up, and there's a creepy guy. Bill Skarsgård is very good at being creepy. He's there because it was double booked, apparently, or supposedly, or was it? Or I don't know.
It was, and was it an innocent thing? You don't.
I don't know.
You don't know.
We don't know that.
But
actually, that was actually. I don't want to say too much about it, but it's written and directed by the same guy, Zach, which I was worried about. I'm like, okay, it's written and directed by Zach Brinker. Exactly. And I was worried. And I'd say the first act was amazing.
The first act was amazing. And by the way, does not the first act prove what I always say about what you see of the monster?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The less you see of the monster, the better it is.
And the more this movie goes on.
Oh. Yeah, as it goes on,
you see more.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit torture pornish. What's that to say? Torture pornish.
I will say the guy that the second act, the dude that showed up. What's his name? Justin Long. He's gonna big a dick.
Trying to think of his name.
Justin Long.
What? He Justin Long. Oh, absolutely.
He's gonna big a dick. Yeah, very good.
Dick, right? yeah, and I have to say how incredibly satisfying it was to see his life fall apart.
Well, I like how he, at one point, he seems to have some heart, and then kind of doesn't really.
Yeah. That's the great thing about it. It's because he was acting.
I don't know. I thought this movie started out really strong, and if they could have just ended it right after the first act, I would have been happy. Put credits up, and we're done. But then the second and third, they tried to weave it into the whole story, and it was like that. It was like, I'm trying to remember movies. 4 Rooms. Remember that movie?
Right.
That was really well done. It was all something that was 4 different groups of people were in the same hotel.
It's so interesting because that's exactly what I thought that they were trying to do with this. I thought after that first part, I thought, wow, that's a great short film, right? And I thought maybe this was just because I didn't know what it was about, right?
Right, which by the way, the title makes no sense.
Yeah, just not a bit. But what I thought to myself is, I thought, oh, this is just a bunch of vignettes,
right? Yeah.
And because then we cut to Justin Long going down the road in his car, right? And I thought, oh, well, that first one was great.
I know, it went from really dark to this really bright sunshine. Right. This guy singing in a car.
Right.
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And then Bill Skarsgård, you lose like the best actor out of everybody, pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I have to say though, I still enjoyed it all the way down the line. And there was another thing that I did really appreciate about it, is that it was short.
Yeah, it was pretty short. But so I guess my problem is, if you like watching people do stupid things, making really stupid choices of, like, it was like watching that Geico commercial with the chainsaws and the people.
Wait. Everybody keeps turning the wrong way in this film, right?
Well, you see clothes in the you own this place, you show up, there's clothes everywhere, and you're like, okay. And then you show up at Airbnb and the light comes on. I would have been in my car driving away at that point. It's like, okay, well, see ya.
Yeah, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
If there's already somebody at the Airbnb that I rent, I'll be 3 miles away when that light comes on.
Yeah, it's true. But you know, I mean, an awful lot of times, if it wasn't for the fact that somehow we've disabled everybody's cell phone.
Yeah. They can't do any research on where they're going to
that's
stay.
Right. then that makes that. See, you have to have a device where you take care of everybody's cell phones. It has to be written into any modern script, right?
And there's one guy, I don't want to give too much away, but there's a guy that lives somewhere where it's not ideal. Why would you be there for 15 years? I don't know, just...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I said too much.
Yeah.
But anyway, none of the choices made any sense, and I was really annoyed. I mean, that happens a lot in horror movies, but this was like all over the place. Every decision they made was bad.
Every decision that anybody made on this film was a bad decision.
There was one really cool scene where she was sitting there, and I was like, "Is she gonna do that?" And she's like, "Nope." Right when I had that thought, I was like,
that's right. Nope.
That was weird.
Like, nope. Yeah, those very words, the very words from the film Nope, which gets its name from somebody being in the decision-making process and going, nope.
I don't know. I had a problem with like the story and everything, but I don't know.
You didn't find it enjoyable?
The really good jump scare at the beginning where
it was
they go to that place and that thing that happens with the thing.
Right.
That was scary.
It was great.
That was terrifying, actually. And but I thought the rest, the second 2/3 of the movie were kind of boring, and I was watching it, but I was like annoyed by it, really.
I did kind of like the twist in the end a little bit.
It seems like they had a really good idea, and then it's like playing with yourself in the bathtub, and then somebody starts knocking on the door. You have to finish it really quick. That's how this movie felt to me. Like the first half was enjoyable, took its time, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, shit, we have to get this done.
Oh God, take this, take this dump. Okay, there you go.
But no, I mean, it's just, and then the stupid after stupid decision, it was repeated. It was just so quickly they're making dumb decisions.
You're right. There were an awful lot of people in this that were making it awful.
But I like how they tried to weave the stories together. I like that. I've always liked that idea. It's whether you can pull it off or not is the question. So
yeah.
So I probably didn't like it as much as you did, but I really liked the first part, and the part with the guy that was pretty satisfying. Like you said, the guy that wasn't so nice.
Yeah.
Especially when he makes a decision that's very selfish, and then something happens,
and then turns it around.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's an awful lot of logic that I found awfully weird in this. You could edit out like 5 seconds of that film, and then it wouldn't make any sense at all.
This is basically 3 or 4 short films that are kind of weaved together.
Kind of.
Because you have the pasty white guy.
It definitely has. Yeah, it definitely has.
Wearing a Carlos outfit. Nobody noticed that, I guess.
Well.
And then OnStar. I could have sworn that OnStar was in her car. That she, Anyway.
OnStar. Give me.
And it's really good to see that Marilyn Manson's getting some acting work, because did a really good job as the
as
creature.
The old man. Yeah, there you go.
No, not the old man, the creature.
Oh, ugh. Oh.
Okay,
yeah. Wait, come to think of it. Oh, you're a little too on the nose with that, aren't you? Well,
I had that thought, and I was like, nah. And then I saw again. I'm like,
I'm not gonna throw that. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No.
So anyway,
so
I think I saw it on IMDb. I'm looking at it right now. People gave it 7 point. Looks like on an average rating of 7.2, and I'm like, how is that possible?
I would definitely rate it up at least a 3.5.
I'm kind of at a 3, I think.
Yeah.
Because the first act, I'd give it a 5.
Yeah.
Second act, probably about 3.5. And then the end was just kind of like a 2 for me, like maybe.
It's those people who like a jump scare with their torture porn.
Well, no, that's the thing, is it got it more into the torture porn toward the end. And
isn't that what I just said?
I like the straight up horror at the beginning. Like, oh, there's a dark corridor.
You keep going. Well, that's right.
I mean, it's kind of cliche. There's a dark corridor, and are you going to walk down and what's down there? It's like,
I thought it was a very straightforward film. It got, right to the right. It got its big jump scare at the beginning, but it was well placed. I I even liked the end of it. I didn't like it as much. That jump scare was like,
well, the first part had everything going for it. It had like the
it did
mysterious guy that was there. She was making decisions like, should I drink some wine? You know, like basically there were all these things that were happening that were kind of like mysterious. Like it was like a Alfred Hitchcock kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it did.
And then it was mixed in with like a horror movie like The Nun or something, or one of those like Conjuring movies where you're
right.
And then what was the deal with the door closing? Was that a paranormal thing? Because that wasn't explained either. So there's a lot of things that were.
It's the funny thing about doors is in the movie we can screw with doors all the time, and you don't know.
That's true.
You don't know?
I think the house was settling, and the doors kept closing.
Yeah. Okay.
What'd you think of the neighborhood?
Great neighborhood, right? Yeah.
See, now that was cool because at night, shows up at night, doesn't really see anything, and in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning wakes up and it's even worse than you could have imagined.
Exactly. So anyway, I agree. It was. I think it was a decent movie, but I think I'm at it kind of a 3. Just not too exciting, not too bad.
Luckily, I'm here to balance you out.
And I think everybody that worked on the movie must have given it a 10. That's how that rating went up.
Well, exactly. There you go.
Which says a lot about movies that get 2s, because none of the people that worked on it gave it anything.
Gave it anything at all. So don't they have negative numbers?
But anyway, yeah, watch 4 Rooms and watch the first third of this movie and turn it off when it goes to black before the guy's driving in the car.
Don't listen to him.
You see a guy in a car, you've gone too far.
Watch the whole film. Okay, guys.
All right.
Sayonara.
Ciao.